Today I'm gonna describe this song I wrote called The Weekend and how it went from this.
I've been looking forward to the weekend. Spend some time.
To this.
I've been looking forward to the weekend. Spend some time.
Howdy. I love how cowboys, like back in the day, were pimps. My father used to watch these cowboy movies and like, they wouldn't even take off their hat. They'd just be like, what's going on? And they kind of wear it to the side. Or they'd be leaning back in their chair with their hat down. And they did that one finger with their pistolas. Ma'am, I wrote a song called The Weekend. I wrote it for a great friend. You guys have probably heard me mention it before on this channel, called Brandon America. Now, Brandon America is not your typical classic country artist. He's from Georgia, he's from Atlanta. So Atlanta, Georgia has a specific type of country music. And Atlanta country is kind of like, I call it ATL country swag. It's got a little bit of trap influence to it. It's got a little bit of urban influence to it. It's got a little bit of country influence to it. It's really dope. Story of how all that happened. We were already working together. This was actually our second song that we did together. I went out of town. We're all by the pool, and all of a sudden I hear these chords in my head, and I start thinking about, what the hell is that song? Oh.
Baby, you a song, make me wanna roll my windows down.
And I'm just like, man, they managed to blend urban and country music. And so we're trying to think of a sound for Brandon as an artist. He's an amazing producer and engineer. Let's just go ahead and throw that out there, which kind of puts him ahead of the curve because any sound that we can come up with or idea, he can visualize it in sound. That made the process super easy, super dope. Old Town Road hadn't even blown up yet. Hearing that, I knew immediately, I'm like, oh, urban music and country music need to come together again because of where he's from and what he just represents, his version of mixing ATL and country. Those chords came to mind. At that time, all I had was my laptop. I was working on Ableton Live. So I went on YouTube and I found someone. Ripped that from YouTube. My bad, YouTube. I also went on YouTube. I found a trap drum loop. I kind of just put the two together. I actually have it. So this is what The Weekend sounded like on Concept.
I've been looking forward to the weekend. Spend some time with my little sweet thing. Call it boy and girls, I call them free fam. We'll light a by the fire, I'll be playing my guitar on the weekend. Covered up in mud and I'm sleeping. Take it to the lake, skinny dipping. We may end up lying under stars and kissing in back of cars on the weekend.
So now that I'm listening to it, I'm like, that's kind of dope. That actually didn't sound too terrible. I actually recorded it into the microphone that's in the MacBook Pro. I didn't have a professional mic, so it doesn't sound terrible considering. Nothing compared to the final product, but definitely good enough to get the idea and the juices flowing and for them to understand my language. And I sent it to him. It just so happened, he and JR Theory were working in the studio at that time. Just by the time he sent it back to me, it was like 85-90% of the way done as you will hear it. And I was just like, oh man, shoot, I work a 9-to-5 job. I'm sure many of you guys work a 9-to-5 job. And I was just tired. I was tired, not physically exhausted, but just mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I wanted to get out of this job. Okay. And it was a good job, but it didn't make me happy. But I think about all of the people out there who are just looking for Friday. Man, come on, Friday. And it's kind of a sad existence for us, but hey, it's real. When you go on vacation or when you do something different or when you get some time off to go out of town or meet up with family or cook out or go to the beach or the park, it's just so many good things you can do. I need to write about the weekend and how great the weekend is. And the weekend is just amazing, right? To me, I'm a love songwriter. I'm a romantic songwriter. I write many different genres, but I typically write about a relationship. And this song at all wasn't about a relationship. Side note, here's a quick tip. If you're trying to get placed with an artist, start with a smaller artist. There's plenty of people out there. Yo, there's 7 billion people in this world. Let's check. World population. 7.9 billion people in this world. I'm sure there's somebody out there who wants to work with you or wants to sing your song. Tip number 2, make sure you write a song in a key they can sing in. Let's go over the lyrics.
When I first met you, I knew I had to have you. Said, hello, comes Brooke. Are you from Alabama? She said, no, I'm Georgia State, but it's nice to meet you. I said, well, I'm a Georgia boy and I love to eat pizza.
Couple things going on in there. One, I wanted to make sure that I use his name. I wanted to introduce him. And he said Consbrook. Consbrook is his last name. And I also wanted to use where he's from because I wanted to represent hometown, and he's from the A. He's stepping up to a girl. Hello, I'm Consbrook. Are you from Alabama? She said, nah, Georgia State, but it's nice to meet you. He said, well, I'm a Georgia boy and I love to eat peaches. We'll just leave that for you guys right there.
Maybe it's love at first sight. Maybe just have a good time. There ain't no telling what could happen tonight.
That was actually a rewrite. I initially wrote there, ain't no telling what kind of trouble we about to get in by the end of the night. And that's
a lot of lyrics.
Now, he got it, but it wasn't the same. And he himself, as an artist, wasn't feeling it. What had to be done? Chop. That went straight to the chopping block. While I was coming up with something else and said I was going to get back to him the next day, he went to the studio, came up with that line there, and it fit absolutely perfect. And I loved what he did with the harmonies. I was like, yo, that's it. That's the line. He loved it. I loved it. So it was a great collaborative effort. But either which way, just wanted to mention, you can't be afraid to just cut what is unnecessary. There's so many great lyrics, so many great chords, so many musical melodies out there. Don't limit yourself to one thing. If it doesn't work, just cut it. Start over. No problem.
So just roll with me and let the magic happen. Throw your hands up to the sky, 'cause it happens every time.
These are rhythms that if you pay attention to a lot of trap music, and we live in the ATL, there's a lot of rhythms that go da-da, 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 a lot of 16th notes, a lot of triplets, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I was paying attention to the cadence and a lot of flow of these ATL artists, and I was like, you know what? I wanted to include that in some of the lyrics that were delivered as well, because it happens every time on the weekend. So there's this big vamp area, and then it goes into the chorus once again. And for this one, I interviewed him. Where exactly you're from? What's the town called? What high school did you go to? And he gives me this information, and I went on Google Maps. I searched the area. I thought to myself, man, if I'm in high school, what am I doing on my weekends? What am I doing on my time off? And I saw that there was a lake nearby. I thought to myself, if I'm on the weekend, I'm going to the lake like every other day. We're lighting bonfires. We're going jet skiing if someone can afford a jet ski. If not, we're just swimming and we're just hanging out. We're doing so much stuff by a lake. I also saw that there was like car dealerships, and I'm like, okay, if I'm from this area, what kind of car would I own? What kind of music would I listen to? I thought to myself, okay, the lake is gonna be the center of the chorus, and everything that I write is gonna be about having fun on the weekend by the lake.
I've been looking forward to the weekend. Spend some time with my little sweet thing. Call up all your girls, I call the free fan. We'll light up by the fire, I'll be playing my guitar on the weekend. Get covered up in mud in my Jeep then. Take it to the lake, skinny dipping. We may end up lying under stars and kissing in the back of cars on the
Verse 2.
outdoor movies, chillin' in jacuzzis, pedal to the middle while we feelin' that cool breeze. Call the radio and tell them play my hit with your city girl talk, but you country girl thick.
Once again, I wanted to just describe a bunch of fun activities. And at this point in time, I envision driving down a highway in either a Jeep or a truck, some type of drop top with the wind blowing, having a good time.
It's that city boy swagger with that country grammar, 'cause we from Atlanta.
Hey! Keeping in the back of my head, I wanted to represent the A. And so we wanted the A to sound real big, because in the background, we all say, hey! And then, so we set up one mic, and then we all took turns not singing into the mic, but in different positions around the mic. So first, I was back here, I was over here, I was over here. I probably had a spot over here. And we did a whole pass at that, maybe 8 times. It was like 6 dudes doing musical chairs in the studio. But then we got this grandiose little anecdote.
You may catch me in a 4x4. You may catch me in a Colorado with the Oscar bottle and the IG model, cause you right here cruising with me.
And so, just living the good weekend life. Thinking about this song, this wasn't the type of song that I thought deserved a bridge. We just did our thing with the chorus, a vamp, and called it the end of the song. Make sure you add it to your playlist here on YouTube. Make sure you add it to your playlist on Spotify and iTunes Music. The song is absolutely dope. It's a project that I'm very proud of. It's called The Weekend by Brandon America. If you like this series, this is something I've been dying to do about the songs that I've written. So if you like these series, you want to see more of these, make sure you leave me a little comment down below. Until the next video, this is your friendly neighborhood coach. Y'all have a good day now.
Spend some time with my little sweet thing. Call it boy and girls, I call them free fam. We're right about a fire, I'll be playing my guitar on the weekend. Covered up in mud and I'm sleeping. Take it to the lake, skinny dipping. We may end up lying under stars and kissing in back of cars on the weekend.